the gargantuan gorgon to the psychoskeleton, one thing's for sure, this ain't no beauty contest, baby. This is a monster shot. What? Good evening, ghosties and ghoulies. Welcome back to the Flophouse for more horror-style entertainment. It's always going down, and thanks to you down at the Patreon, all of you who voted for me to take a look at horror game magazine advertisements from the 90s and 2000s. I know some of you really enjoy these videos. I enjoy making them. So we're going to look through a bunch of classics, a bunch of, turn of the century games into the 2000s a little bit. There's definitely some things to talk about. There's some things to discuss, and there's definitely some things to get spooked and or grossed out by. So let's get to it. All right, first up we have, of course, the granddaddy of horror video games, Splatterhouse, specifically Splatterhouse 3. Now, this is pretty standard for the most part, but there's some things to look at. This is just the box art you'd see for Splatterhouse 3. I think this was painted by Julie Bell. It has that look to it, right? Please confirm to me in the comments below, or kindly editor, please check to see if Julie Bell illustrated this particular cover. I like Splat is back. That's fun. That rhymes. The work continues in Splatterhouse 3 for the Sega Genesis. Based on the top-selling Splatterhouse series, this latest version pits Rick against legions of gruesome fiends in a desperate race to save his family. That's pretty standard story for the other two games. Splatterhouse 3 breaks new ground in the hot brawling. Ooh, I'm going to go for some hot brawling. Rick has a whole set of explosive moves guaranteed to please even the most experienced game veterans. Splatterhouse 3 hits the shelves in July 1993. 60 megs of chillingly grotesque graphics, multiple endings, non-linear gameplay, wicked new weapons, password support. So my problem with this little advertisement is, what the hell are we doing here? Huh? Like, I get that you, it's really cute. They're like, oh, this little guy here, he's ripping up the page. See, yeah, they're not exactly aligned with his claws because this is something we added after the fact. It's close enough. But it's like you're shredding up the screenshots. The whole point of the advertising to see the game a little bit. I think this should have just been like a big red tear or like a big splatter of blood. Would not made of more sense than doing this weird art house thing that you're doing. I don't even know if that's what it is, but it's fucking weird. I think it destroys a lot of, like 20, 25, 30% of the advertisement. So yeah, not the best, but fortunately there's way better Splatterhouse game advertisements we'll be getting to. All right, next up we have Castlevania. I have no memory of this. I would see ads like this all the time. In a comic book specifically for Konami. It would always have this white background. Nice place to visit, but you wouldn't want to die there. Now, I like the line, but you wouldn't want to die there. But at the same time, I don't think Castlevania and or Transylvania is a nice place to visit at all. I'm not really liking what they did here, where they just take random bits of the game and just overlaid it, like little bits of artwork that I don't think I've ever seen before. I'm not even fully sure it's actually from the Castlevania, or it was like taken from another source and just put on there. Do you remember Death being in a boat with a cat? I don't. I mean, that's a generic castle, that's fine. Transylvania, welcome population 108 souls. Sure, whatever you say. And it is for Simon's Quest, so you can't expect the advertisements to be good. But what is this? The original Castlevania has risen again. The shortage is over, and this classic Konami thriller is arriving by the casket load every day. Look for whatever great games are sold. Was there an actual shortage? That'd be cool if true. Transylvania's vilest tourist attraction is awake and awaiting to amuse. After being shut down by a sharpened stake in Konami's Castlevania, Dracula's thirsting for revenge in Castlevania 2. That's not true. That's not part of it. He's not thirsting for revenge. He's dead. and you're just like, there's a curse, and you're anyway. The only hope of destroying this curse, okay, well, at least it mentions the curse, and surviving this quest are clues from cowardly villagers that'll lead you through graveyards, mansions, and werewolf-filled forests in search of hidden daggers, flame whips, magic potions. But be warned, when day turns into night, a horrible curse will happen. Your return ticket from this terror trip could be canceled. Okay. Yeah, like, you should always emphasize Dracula or a giant monster of some variety and Simon Belmont. None of this like brochure. What is this, a Jet 2 holiday? You know, we don't need that here. Like, Transylvania and or Castlevania sells itself, so you don't need to be like showing different locations. It's kind of pointless. More Castlevania action. I do very much remember this advertisement. I think this kicks ass. I would see this like Wizard magazine, comic books as well. But yeah, like, this looks like a real photo that they took like on a stage and everything. I don't think any of them are okay. Simon should be dead by this timeline, but I don't think Eric and John were resurrected. I think they're just alive. But maybe they didn't get the exact full brief on the story. Still, though, it looks like it's a very cool visual. The plot thickens. Okay, that's not the best tagline. It's not the worst either. Konami unearths Castlevania Bloodlines for Sega Genesis, the most challenging, most chilling adventure in vampire hunting history. As whip-wielding John or Master Lanceman Eric pursue your bloodstained destiny across Europe, chasing the latest, evilest incarnation of horror, Countess Bartley. Come on, Countess Bartley, say the thing. I didn't do it. Shudder, 6 stages of shocking new graphic sights and sounds from your worst nightmare. Skeledragons, spear-thrusting minotaurs, grotesque giants, and ghastly creatures are dying to slay you with gruesome attacks and strange powers. So take up your sacred weapons and begin. Just remember that you already have one foot in the grave. See, that's a better tagline. But it has a really nice color scheme. It's suitably spooky. It has good box art that it's highlighting, and the screenshots that they picked are quite good with the lighting effects when you're in this castle. Giant Skele guy, and this dude. I can't remember if this is a Minotaur or like an automaton. Anyway, good placement of everything. Probably the best ad we've seen so far, and probably a front runner. So good stuff, Bloodlines. All right, more Castlevania. This is one I do not remember at all. It's for Castlevania for the Nintendo 64. Hitherto sometimes referred to as Castlevania 64. I guess this is supposed to be Reinhardt or just a generic vampire on there, because he loves his garlic. He loves his robust garlic. This guy is searching for his next meal, and you're it. Watch where you tread. Torturous traps await the unwary adventurer, and whip your way through Dracula's army of the undead. Killer outfit. Too bad the nightlife sucks. Oh! Get geared up for the bloodiest vampire battles ever. It's not. It's literally not. There's not much blood at all in this game. In Castlevania's 12th incarnation. Ooh, do we need to count that up? Castlevania 1, 2, and 3, right? Super Castlevania, that's 4. Genesis Bloodlines, that's 5. Then I guess you count the Game Boy games, which must have been 2 by that point. No, there might have been a 3rd by this. I don't remember. Where are they getting 12 from? Let me know where you think that 12 is. Maybe they're counting PC versions, or like, sorry, not PC, like the Japanese, the MSX. Maybe they're counting that. Anyway, I don't think that sounds right to me. Like, Castlevania for the Nintendo 64 was 1999, right? So, yeah, that seems wrong. Anyway, as you enter a tangled, trap-filled castle populated by the evil Count and his minions, go as one of 2 fearless fighters of your choice, with whoop-ass weaponry. But be warned, while you can dress to kill, if you lack the skill, your night is really gonna suck. Oh man, if I was gonna say if you can just to kill, but if you lack the skill, you'll not be able to pay the bills. I think this looks pretty good. I don't much care for live action actors dressed up. I think a render of Reinhardt would have done the job, but he looks suitably like a badass. I like the coloring around the edges. It fits in with the coloring of the title. Decent screenshots there. So yeah, this isn't bad at all. So Castlevania, except for that very first one for Simon's Quest, you're killing it, I have to say. Back to Splatterhouse, I had to include this. This was in like Archie comics, maybe? Something like that, but it was just a little prequel to the events of the game, so let's check it out. It was the mansion of Dr. West, but those who knew it better called it the Splatterhouse. West may have been the greatest parapsychologist in our field. Okay. Rick has nothing to say. But do we have to visit his old home? It gives me the creeps. The Splatterhouse. Think of it as a school research project. Besides, the house is empty. What can happen? Hey, Jennifer, what is it? Growie. After a fight in the dark, well, what happened to me? What happened to Jennifer? My head, something's wrong. Can't see straight. What's the matter? I like how it's like a million spooky things at once. There's this like totem pole of like bodies, some weird ghost stuff or marshmallows. I'm not really sure. A bat and a rat all looking over Rick. My face, it's covered with the terror mask. How does he know what it is? The terror mask, legend tells that the wearer is granted vast power, but can't remove it. So if you're wondering why it looks like this, if you recall the TurboGrafx 16 port of the arcade version, they changed Rick's mask to red to make sure that there's very litigious Friday the 13th people wouldn't sue. If I take it off, I may never get Jennifer back. Whack, whack. These two guys, they don't care. They're disassociating. Rest in pieces, you ugly slime balls. Nothing can keep me from getting Jennifer back. Oh, yeah? I'm as good as dead. Unless you can help me, Rick. Rescue me in the all-new TurboGrafx 16 Splatterhouse. I think this is a decent idea to do with games that had a little bit of plot, but not too much, because obviously you only have so many panels to work with. But as like a little prequel to get you hyped up for a game, I'm not sure how many of these there actually were out there for games. I think maybe in like, official Sega Genesis or Nintendo Power magazines that would kind of do that. But those are more like full on like comic books inside to advertise the game. This is just a 2-page spread that you would see. But it's illustrated pretty nicely. I'm surprised that there's actual blood visible in it. So it's not doing a whole lot other than, you just see the opening attract intro of a game. But I think that's solid enough. So again, Splatterhouse doing pretty good. Had to include Battle Monsters in Killing Zone. Fight like a monster or die like a freak. What does that mean, that last bit? It's pretty funny that they're advertising two pretty similar fighting games that were released back to back with like 1 year or a year and a half apart from each other. And they're both developed by Naxat Soft, aka Scarab. And as everyone knows, Battle Monsters is kind of underrated. It's still a bit janky, but Killing Zone is actual ass. I did a whole video about that over on the main channel. Anyway, monsters know no mercy. The more you win, the stronger, faster, and meaner you get, which is kind of technically correct. 3D polygonal slugfest with buckets of gore. There is very little gore in the game at all. There was supposed to be gore, but it got taken out. Got something stuck in your throat, and I think it's the skeleton warrior putting a sword inside the Minotaur. I'm not really sure. Go head to ugly head, sorry, I have to say it right, in a grisly blood-drenched 3D slugfest. 7 freakish monsters slathered in gore. Go all out in Killing Zone's eye-popping 3D arenas. The more they mutate, the more mind-blowing the super moves they can pull off. Set your mongrels free in an automated death tournament and watch as they evolve into purebred killing machines. From the gargantuan Gorgon to the psycho skeleton, one thing's for sure, this ain't no beauty contest, baby. This is a monster shot. What? That's crazy that they would say that. Just looking at the advertising, Killing Zone is taking up more of the real estate than Battle Monsters. So that's kind of funny. On a visual thing, this isn't too egregious. I think it would be better if it was just like half and half. Both pages dedicated to each game. I think this going over here is like a little bit unnecessary, but maybe because Killing Zone is the newer game, they wanted to emphasize it. Freakish carnage and sprawling multi-plane arenas. Bring a mop. This is gonna get messy. No one can tell what's happening in this screenshot. Mutilating super moves that'll make your head spin. There's a rumble in hell, and you're invited. 12 psychotic monsters fight fist and fang in the darkest, goriest, it's not gory, head-to-head combat ever. In bone-chilling, interactive, multi-leveled environments, the beasts of the undead unleash clawfuls of sickening super moves in a bid to be crowned the king of darkness, overflowing with blood, guts, drool, and slime. Sounds like my Saturday night. Battle Monsters is mangling multi-hit. What? Oh my, sorry, I thought that was a period. Battle Monsters is mangling multi-hit mid-air fighting with super fast scaling, chopping, stabbing, gouging, morphing, and dying. Feeling lucky, freak? This is amazing. I don't know. I give this like a 10 out of 10. I don't even know what to really say. It's just staggering that this is even getting advertisements, but Acclaim did publish these. They're very, very desperate around this time, so, you know, that doesn't really shock me. Good stuff, Battle Monsters, and Killing Zone. You're all right, too. All right, we're getting into the Resident Evils now. I've never seen this. Pretty gory, pretty dark for a game advertisement, Resident Evil Director's Cut. I mean, it's fine that the eyeball's in there, I suppose, but, I mean, was there eyeball gore left out in the director's cut? I don't really remember. Now you can see Resident Evil through the director's eyes. Experience the director's original horrific vision. This is such bullshit. Presenting Resident Evil Director's Cut, the uncensored, unrelenting version of the consumer choice overall best PlayStation game, substantially enhanced with frightfully graphic footage, alternate camera angles, and new levels of difficulty. Resident Evil Director's Cut. It's a sight for sore eyes. That's pretty good. Includes the drop-dead Resident Evil 2 interactive demo. That's why it even exists, really. Plus a $5 coupon towards the purchase. This is simple. It's to the point. It's very late 90s, early 2000s, right? Like you'd see ads like this all the time. Like it would just have a picture of an eyeball and it says Resident Evil Director's Cut, and down here in the corner it would say, "Are you fucking stupid?" Like that would be kind of it. So, you know, nothing too much to screw up here, but there's plenty more Resident Evil in our little look down memory lane. So let's get to it. That's good stuff. So this is Game X. I don't think it's from Canada or America. So let me know where Game X is from. Spanish speaking country, I'd like to think. So we have Congo the movie, of course, In the Zone, Dragon Lore, which I've never heard of, Strikers 96, and Need for Speed. I guess this must be Game X's little mascot, this weird orange Yuppie looking dude in a lab coat. So there's illustrations why I'm here. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like the picture of Chris here. He's really going gung-ho. He's got a lot of chutzpah, this kid. This picture of Jill, less so a lot. I feel bad for this zombie too. He's not having a good time. He doesn't want to be here, man. And this dog, he's crashing through the window, so they're recreating that particular jump scare, so that's cool. But like Chris isn't even looking at him. He's like, I don't even care about that right now. I've got more important things to do. So this is kind of also a 10 out of 10. There's just something amazing. They do not give a lot of room for an illustration. And, you know, not all illustrations can be, you know, A+ masterworks. And this is somewhere in the upper echelon, though, I think. Chris is doing the squat, too. That's when you know you're serious about your zombie killing. So I just had to include this just because it's wild, you know. But it's about to get more mild. Here's, I don't know if I'm cut out for this, Claire Redfield. She's really not sure what to do. Someone just put a gun in her hand, and she doesn't have a lower half. She's fading into obscurity in the back here. So this is Russian, maybe? Because this is throwing me off up here. Anyway, yeah, let me know what language this is. I do not really recognize it. These zombies, yeah, this looks like Resident Evil Kids, which should have been released. Like, you know, Virtua Fighter Kids, Toshinden Kids, there absolutely should have been a Resident Evil Kids. Or like Pocket Fighter. Super Gemfire Mini Mix. There should have been a Resident Evil game like that for the kids to play. I don't like this cut down the middle. Plus, her arm doesn't care about dimensional shifts. It's just going past that and into the zombie thing. I like how there's like just a random biohazard right there. These zombies are probably the least gruesome zombies ever. They just look like people that just didn't get sleep and their clothes got ripped up. Like they're just coming from an orgy or something. I don't know. We gotta go to bed. That was a long night. This picture of Claire is just so special to me. Like I do feel like I want to protect her. She really seems like she's out of her depth. So poor Claire Redfield here. These two covers blew my mind, so you can see why I had to include them. I don't think this is great. There's way too much text, and the illustrations are, well, you can see what they are, but yeah, maybe I'm being too harsh on it, but I think we should move on. Yeah, there you go. Speaking of someone who doesn't know what they're doing, look at this poor dude. He probably wasn't even told what he was like supposed to be doing. Here, just hold a PlayStation controller. What? Okay. I guess this is supposed to be in the little jail section of the RPD, where Ben is held up. I do like the framing of this. It's a nice shot. I like the curve to the photo. I think it would have been way cooler if you just had this actor dressed up as Leon and him holding a gun and being a cool ready pose. I don't think it just looks like he's a cosplayer that's just playing Resident Evil, right? On his PlayStation. Down here, I guess this is as much of the photo that they took, because then this is kind of ripped off and it's just a black background, so that's kind of lazy. Upon first glance, it's kind of cool though. Obviously, I can't read most of this, but yeah, it's a very special illustration or advertisement I've never seen for Resident Evil. But yeah, there is a certain giddy charm I get from looking at this. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Resident Evil, use your bullets wisely. You may want to use the last one on yourself. Oh! This is awesome looking. I don't think this is particularly one of the dogs. It looks like a German Shepherd to me, so it's not really one of the Dobermans. You usually see that, so maybe you can take off points from that. But I like all the scratches. Screenshots are maybe not the best ones you could have taken. It's hard to see even what's going on. Arguably, the best PlayStation game of all time is now available for the PC in its original uncensored entirety. It's bloodier, more violent, it contains all the gruesome never before seen footage that was cut out of the console version, except for the director's cut. But part of you want to uncover the grisly mysteries that dwell within. Part of you wish you never set foot inside. Yeah, this is awesome, actually. It's very Resident Evil to me, the color scheme, the scratchy Photoshop effects and stuff. Yeah, the only thing I can honestly say is that the screenshots could be like a little bit bigger. Maybe like one of them should be like a cutscene or something, just to, hammer home the realism of the Resident Evil franchise. And obviously, I don't think this dog was really holding this severed hand. There's something about it doesn't look quite right to me. But still, this is a B+ for effort, for sure. More Resident Evil, and is there one that's scarier than Survivor? I don't think so. In your face terror. It's totally in my face. You can see over here. These 4 zombies crowding my personal space. Now experience terror in first-person perspective. Introducing Resident Evil Survivor. Man, that cover is shit, isn't it? The font is fine, but just this generic dude, whatever his name is, I forget, and kind of that proto-tyrant or whatever it was. I'm trying to forget Resident Evil Survivor. I will say, good color scheme. I like the glow from the zombie eye matching the glow around here. The purple coloring, I think it gives it a nice spooky feel. So it's not terrible. It's just, it's for Resident Evil Survivor. Of course, we have to move on into Resident Evil clones, and is there one more clonier than Countdown Vampires? So we got Keith Snyder, if I recall, and his very luxurious glowing nipples. That is the most, dude, did you miss the bouncer? I think you mean to be in the bouncer, sir, so go back there. Get in touch with your inner psychopath. And this guy is like kind of a huge nerd. He looks tough, but I mean, he's not. He's kind of a dork in Countdown Vampires, but whatever. And you better learn fast because you're Keith Snyder, bodyguard, trapped in the Desert Moon Hotel, where all the patrons are turned into vampires. Except not really. There's lots of werewolves and praying mantises, but your job, find out why and destroy a few million nasty vampires in the process. There's a myriad of environments, awesome weapons, and challenging puzzles to keep you on the edge of your seat. You can even pick your blood type and play as a human or vampire. Videogames.com said, if you're looking for an RE-style game with a twist, this might be your best move. So get moving before you become dead meat. Amazing. I will just show 3 random characters: Mira Swish, Jules Doors, and Claudia Swish. What are you talking about? I guess they're trying to make these real characters, but they are not. At the end of the day, as much as fun as you can make of Countdown Vampires, and believe me, you can, it's not a bad looking advertisement. It is very 2000s. I think this game did come out in 2000. So, yeah, it's a nice clean render. You can read all the text fine. They only show one shot of gameplay because the rest is just all cutscenes, and it's hard to even see what the hell's happening. Countdown Vampire is such a terrible name. It's just called like Vampire Blood, or I don't know, something a bit more edgy than Countdown. It probably would have done a little better. Actually, no, it doesn't matter. The game still sucks. All right, try to tell me which game you think this is from. Confront your inner fears. Okay, there's a mansion. There's someone standing in the mansion. It's clearly a bunch of photoshopped elements all kind of slapped in there. It's Silent Hill 2. Inner Fears? Was that some sort of tagline, or is that like a prototype subtitle they're trying to do? I don't know why it's doing it twice. Okay, does anyone remember James just going into like a small, like, you know, a mansion? I don't remember that. Maybe the hotel at the end, but it's way bigger than that. I don't see Toluca Lake around anywhere nearby. So yeah, that's not the best anyway. I guess it's spooky looking, but it doesn't exactly, it's not using all the abilities that Silent Hill would have to show. You can show Pyramid Head, you can show James doing a cool pose, you can show the Misty Town. This is just a bunch of random spooky stuff that they just had in a folder and just slapped it all together. So it's not the worst, but like I think for Silent Hill, it's kind of disappointing, you know? All right, what we have next? We got more Resident Evil, this time Code Veronica. Oh, German? This is the weird thing when Eidos actually published a few random games like from other publishers in Europe. So I think this might be European. Anyway, the reason why I'm looking at it is like, you know what really sells Resident Evil? Just having a coward hiding behind a couch playing his Dreamcast. Again, is this selling the game? Not really, right? I mean, the only thing that would be worse if this was like Claire or like Steve Burnside and they were just like a little scaredy cat or something. Like, you know, just make fun of your main heroes. Yeah, like I could envision this being an ad for like a lesser horror game, like one that's like a little bit sillier, like, oh, I don't know, Ill Bleed or something like that. But for Resident Evil, Code Veronica, there's some decent screenshots down here, I guess. But again, it's not really invoking fear. Like, I would just say have like a big picture of the Nosferatu monster or Alfred or something like that, or a Bandersnatch even. Code Veronica has really good artwork, so you could have used any number of things and done something spooky with them. But no, just have this child man just hiding behind a couch. That's good enough. Again, I don't even think this was made for Resident Evil. They just had this as a stock image lying around. So yeah, not great, and does a disservice to Code Veronica, which they better announce is getting its remake soon. I'm tired of waiting. So yeah, this is German. I'm almost positive. I don't know who this character is. Is it supposed to be Regina? That's not her costume, or it doesn't look quite like that. It's sort of like that, but not really. This Tyrannosaurus like, where are you going? Did you make the big mess over here? Like, it looks unintentionally hilarious. really, really funny. And I know the perspective seems off, like she's almost in line with where his feet are at, but she's clearly ahead of him and he's way in the back. I don't know where they got this artwork from. I will say it looks like it's custom, at least. It was made for this advertisement, perhaps, unless there's an obscure piece of Dino Crisis art I'm not sure of. Maybe CVX Freak would know. But yeah, like, wow. You know, there's a reason I picked this, because it was just so different. But we have another piece of Dino Crisis art coming up next that is of special interest. But I think this one's like okay, is just kind of unintentionally hilarious, and that's about it. I think the concept could have retooled to be something a bit more vicious and exciting looking, rather than just kind of like, you know, awkwardly stilted. Here's one of the few Eternal Darkness ads I could find. Nintendo didn't really do a whole lot of advertising for it, you know, color me shocked. So this is definitely going for a high concept thing, as you play like a family member that had a bunch of ancestors that did a bunch of stuff in the past in Eternal Darkness. Now, I don't think this sells this spooky, terrifying, you know, Lovecraftian game very much. La folie vous guette. Don't actually know this word specifically, but this is in French. And they're just shaving throughout the ages. Again, I don't think that's particularly spooky. It's a neat idea, but la vie est un jeu. So life is a game, and this game is currently stuck in these GameCubes. You'll never get it out. Please, can we not port this to Nintendo Switch? Can we please not let Night Dive do a remaster? Anything. Instead of just letting it, like, you know, die on the vine on the GameCube forever. Anyway, this sucks. I think Eternal Darkness deserves way better than this. I know this is just the, you know, French ad, but I couldn't even find really an American ad or anything like that. Yeah, it's lame. It's so 2000s. Like, it's always like photos of people just doing things unrelated to the game, and then it'll just say, like, you know, Rise of the Kasai or the Mark of Kree, and then that's it. And it's like someone, like, you know, doing their lawn, mowing their lawn or something. It's always crap like that, you know. That's really a shame. Eternal Darkness should absolutely have gotten like a terrifyingly spooky ad, but this is what we got. Thanks, Nintendo. Some more Silent Hill. Your room is waiting. Every town has its secrets. Some are darker than others. Welcome to Silent Hill. Please check your sanity at the door. You're Harry Mason. You've crashed your car outside of town. Your daughter is missing, and soon you discover Silent Hill is no ordinary quiet town. Fact, it's a little too quiet. Pass between the real world and a demonic nightmarish world rendered in real-time 3D, where you'll be on the edge of your seat and the edge of madness. Don't be afraid of the dark. Be afraid of what is hiding. Use your brain, use your brawn, and find your lost daughter before you also lose your mind. Friend or fiend, is anything what it seems in this town? So some of this I like. I think you're going really hard on the asylum aspect. I don't think you needed to. I don't mind this text down here. I think if you just had a foggy version of Silent Hill, like a nice render, or even like, you know, a stock photo and just like put effects on it, and maybe have one monster way in the distance, like in the fog, you could barely see it, and that's it. That's what I would change. The text is not bad at all. I mean, it's a little cheesy, but I do like the way it's kind of written. The screenshots are nicely placed. I like the border around this. It's pretty good stuff in general. I just don't think the Asylum has anything to do with Silent Hill 1 or many of Silent Hill games. Maybe Shattered Memories. That's about it. So, you know, the visuals are not quite meshing with the vibe of the game that much. This would be better for Eternal Darkness, in all honesty, because multiple characters go crazy in that game. One of them ends up in an asylum. So, you know, what do I know? All I know is like what the source material is. And a lot of these advertising agencies did not, clearly. Here we go. Yeah. The suffering prison is hell. I'm assuming prison is hell is the tagline, but that's going to be a bad subtitle. So they, Midway sure went for the jugular. A gore-drenched excursion into hell-raising territory. Midway's action horror title could be the most gruesome video game ever. Listen, this is I do like this. It's quite a striking image. It's violent, but it's not too violent because, the colors kind of mask a lot of it. There's a little bit of blood on this toilet seat, which is not, obviously great. The fear, the violence, the horror. Like, this is pretty effective in terms of, spooky advertising and such. And it's an illustration too. It's not like a Photoshop job or just like random stock photo. Like a lot of the Suffering concept art kind of look like this and stuff. So this is quite a good one. So I'm not surprised that the Suffering sold well in its initial guise. Not so much the second, which we do have an advertisement for later on. Going back to Dino Crisis from the creators of Resident Evil, survival horror on a much larger scale. Now, I see what they're doing, but it's just 90% like a zoomed up like illustration. There's really some weird things. It starts to look like AI over here. I think it's just too dominating. I think some screenshots would have been nice down here. I think maybe just make the claw a bit smaller and then have a dinosaur head roaring like it is, flinging its claws into your face, but you can also see it back there too. I think that would have been a bit more effective, and have like 3 screenshots down here. Because as it is, it's just kind of messy and a little ugly, and I get it. It's totally in my face. I get it. But yeah, I don't think this was executed as well as it could have been. I get the idea. You guys just didn't really nail the follow through. Oh, we got to get some nightmare creatures in there. Jack the Ripper was a Boy Scout compared to nightmare creatures. In the dark and grimy streets of old London town, a nightmare awaits you. Grotesque and evil creatures are on the prowl, scouring the city's darkest corners in search of fresh victims to satisfy their insatiable bloodlust. This gruesome game is one of the first to combine gothic cinematic horror with the action of a classic beat-em-up. That's true, actually. With more blood than your local abattoir, nightmare creatures will satisfy the depraved appetites of the most twisted gamers' minds. So I wonder if this is like a European, like UK ad. I'm not sure, because I don't remember this box art at all. It doesn't look like that. This is cool. It's a little cheesy with the blood up here and stuff, and this is not the best illustration they have. There are a lot of good renders of the monsters and nightmare creatures. I think that would have been a bit more effective than this kind of goofy illustration back over here. This, my brother went to Victorian London and all he brought back was this lousy t-shirt. This isn't bad. I sort of get it, but again, it's very 2000s, late 90s, right? It's just like an image of something. And then that's kind of it. A photo, no screenshots, no whatever. I think these were 2 brother and sister ads. I don't think they were put against each other. I think this is just a picture that amalgamizes both. So I don't think they appeared alongside each other. But yeah, this isn't terrible. There is some sort of asylum or something that goes on in... I think that's Nightmare Creatures too. Anyway, it's not bad. I think I like this one a little bit more just because of the kind of cheesy writing, but... other than that, these aren't bad. I'll let them pass. So, speaking of not letting pass, fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread. And that's the ad. Fuck you. That's terrible. Yeah, there's some screenshots, but I mean, come on. This is a game of revenge. This is a game of revenge. Did AI write this? A dark early 1900s revenge where you'll battle against 20 different creatures using new fighting techniques, combination moves, and fatalities. A revenge that goes deep into 30 game sectors in 8 different worlds, including subways, castles, sewers, cities, London / Paris, cemeteries, villages, and underwater. A gory revenge, an extremely gory revenge. Soundtrack by Rob Zombie. This is bad. This is a bad text description. That's like what the Sears catalog would have as the description of a game. So that's shit. This is shit. Just 2 there. Like, I'm sorry, Nightmare Creatures is not a household name. You can't just put 2 there and expect people to know what the hell you're talking about. So this is one of the worst ads we've seen so far. It's just a complete waste of mine and your time. Back to the Suffering. The city has its demons, but so do you. There's a lot going on here. It feels like they were told you have to do a 2-page spread, but we actually didn't know what we wanted to do. Took a bunch of different elements. Like, we have him doing nothing, then he's shooting everybody, then he's in the same pose but it's close up, and then like a cutaway of Torque's face. Screenshots are fine. Discover the dark secrets of the inner city, fight teeming horrors, etc., etc. You're out of prison, but still not free. Now the battle rages on 2 fronts, in the city and in your mind. Which is fine. That's fine. But yeah, this is just too fractured for me. It doesn't really make a lot of like cohesive visual identity around here, so it's just kind of messy and stuff. Like, maybe if they just focused on this image down here and like blew it up to take up more of the space, like it would be in the center, but maybe they couldn't do that because of the break in the pages. But I don't think this works particularly. And yeah, that's pretty much the Suffering too in a nutshell. Look at this sexy bitch. When love dies, vengeance fills the void. Wield the powerful skills of Devil Forgery as you return to the ruins of Dracula's castle in your quest for vengeance against those who took the life of your true love. I have never seen this Hector art ever. He's got a little devil above him and everything. This must have been made for this advertisement. That's not bad at all. It's no Ayami Kojima, but I mean, it's not bad at all. Summon innocent devils to... I called this a little devil. I forgot. It's an innocent devil. Sorry about that. Castle collect evolution. Crystals to enhance your innocent devils. Level up by destroying the creatures of the night. Acquire and create powerful new weapons. Explore the biggest 3D Castlevania world yet. Experience a darker story of betrayal and revenge. I don't know why I'm going into strong bad there. But yeah, that's pretty cool, I have to say. Castlevania, not bad on the advertisements, right? Like, this piece of hand-drawn art is huge, big screenshots, colors work, good stuff, Curse of Darkness. I've never beaten Curse of Darkness. Maybe we will one year. Maybe I'll enlist the powers of one Liam Chan to help me with that someday. But yeah, very solid stuff for Curse of Darkness here. So, in their infinite wisdom, I guess some Japanese... advertising agencies said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to awkwardly take renders of Resident Evil 4 characters. There's a whole bunch of these, by the way. There's Luis, there's Ashley, I think maybe Ada Wong, and they just put them in these real places with actors surrounding them. I don't get it. Like, when you think about what Resident Evil 4 is, do you think this is the best way to sell it? Do you think this really encompasses what it's going for? Like horror in a rural part of Spain, chainsaws, parasites. No, this is what we want. Want to make Leon look like he's a pop star or like a celebrity. I do not get this, and I don't like it. So we enter more Silent Hill. Welcome to an endless nightmare of pain and suffering. Well, yeah, you'd be playing Silent Hill 4 then. Welcome home. Well, shouldn't this be homecoming? Home is definitely where the heart is, along with some spleen and a little chunk of liver in the hall. Oh my god. Best adventure game of E3. It's an adventure game now, is it? Forget about pushing the envelope. Silent Hill tears it to pieces. That's true enough. In the end, Konami's game will, without a doubt, be the preeminent scare fest of 2004. New first-person mode. That's not really true. You're only in first person in the room segments. Like, it's not like something you can actually turn on, A riveting story, ghostly new creatures, grisly environments. So, yeah, okay, sure. This is like, I don't know why there's this down here. I guess this is such an awkward shot of the room, And just having this wailing figure is just, the home is hard to read. It's just kind of a mess. Maybe it's the scan, but like I don't particularly like this. Just text floating awkwardly over here, and just like everything's all off center, and it's not very effective. How did Silent Hill become, pretty prominent with this advertising? Konami really dropped the ball here. And with that, we are moving on to our final horror game. We're going back to the very start with Splatterhouse, but specifically Splatterhouse 2010. I saw this ad. I was like, no, we gotta include this. This is actually fucking awesome, and there's a few reasons for this. Just if you look at it on a visual level, just like sit back a little bit, it's attractive to the eye. Everything pops. We can't have super gore here in this advertisement, but we'll do it by putting these like mock content warnings here. MH, massive head rolling. This game contains violent material including mall-to-mall action, separation anxiety, massive head rolling, toxic waste discharge, painful ripping, devastating weapons, etc., etc. The screenshots down here, I think they'll probably look pretty good. A little gruesome. I love the blood outline here. Rick looks like a badass. Consider yourself warned is nice. He's smashing through the attention thing. And the goriest game of E3 by Kotaku. Thanks, Kotaku. I also like that it tells you that the classic Splatterhouse are available on mobile and iPhone. That's nice of them. I could tell you that the 3 games are also unlockable in this specific Splatterhouse 2010 reboot. But yeah, this looks really good. Someone really thought like, okay, well, we need to advertise a game called Splatterhouse, and the main part about the game is blood, but you can't have too much blood in an advertisement, in a magazine or a comic book. So what are we going to do? Well, let's do this. That's literally the best thing you could have done. They had a hard assignment and they executed on it. Look at all the like splinters of wood though too. It's not really blood, but it's like making you sort of think about it in your mind. So this kicks ass. I really wish the Splatterhouse 2010 game could get remastered somehow with some like improvements to load times, resolution, all that. I think that would serve the game well. But this advertisement, certainly one of the better ones we've seen today. And speaking of what we've seen today, let me know what I may have missed, and we might do this again sometime soon. Always fun to take a look back on these old magazines. It was such a time, huh? It was a very different time, but man, what a time it was.